Frank Stanisci of Candid Frank Live, where you'll find us airing our views here on the Spanglish World Network on Zingo TV channel 250. Please remember to download the Zingo TV app at the respective app stores for iOS and Android devices. While you download, make sure you rate, leave a comment. Both apps are absolutely free. Zingo TV is available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Fire TV sticks, Roku sticks, and also on all smart TVs 2016 forward. Now on Candid Frank Live, joining me is Aaron William Freeland. Hey, Aaron, how you doing?
Good, Frank. How are you?
My computer is being naughty.
It's doing that again, is it?
I'm not going to buy it a Christmas present. it is now, and I got to tell you, my green screen leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, it's tricky to get that just right.
Yeah, no, I got another green screen, but I haven't had a chance to put it in. Straighten up the microphone. Let me see. There, yeah, like that. Pull it back a little bit. There we go. Center it. There we go. We're good to go now. We're ready to rock and roll. Speaking of rocking and rolling, let's talk about the Canadian Football League. So I think I'm going to be going to the Grey Cup. I don't like the flight costs that are out there. It's ridiculous to go to Saskatchewan. It cost a buddy of mine and his wife are going to Puerto Plata. They're spending $850. It's $850 a week, $1,250 for 2 weeks, all inclusive. My flight right now, you can get a flight to Saskatchewan for $1,100. Just the flight. But you can go to Puerto Plata for 2 weeks for $1,200.
I mean, not to put too fine a point on it, but I'm going to Puerto Plata if that's the case.
And you see the battle I'm having in my head, and I think a lot of other media are making that decision too. And say, hang on a second, but you know what? I'm going to end up going. I'm going to end up going to the Grey Cup, being a dedicated CFL follower and person who enjoys covering the games and being there for the game. Yeah, that's what I'll be doing. But it is a sacrifice. It truly is. If you don't have sponsorship, which I do not. Do I, Eduardo? Is there anybody that's going to pay? No, I guess not. He's looking for somebody to pay for his flight. So anyway.
Can't help you with that, unfortunately.
Okay, let's talk about the Elks. They make a signing.
Yes. So the Edmonton Elks announced on Monday that they signed national offensive lineman David Foucault to a 2-year extension. He's 6'7". He started all 18 games for the Double E during the 2022 season. Prior to that, he played 1 season with the Alouettes in 2021 and spent 3 seasons as a member of the BC Lions, 2017 to 2019. So it's a good start. It's a good signing for them. He's solid. He's dependable. He's good on the line.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about the Eastern Final. Who has the edge? You're asking me the question, but I'll let you answer first.
Sure. Just looking at everything that we've got here, Toronto was better at home. Montreal was better at their home, as seems to be the case. I'm just looking at who they've got on the offensive line right now. Andrew Harris is coming back. AJ Ouellette has been pretty decent. The only issue, and I think we mentioned this when we were talking last week, was we're not 100% sure how Harris is going to perform or if he's going to take all of the snaps. In Montreal, I mean, Fletcher's on his way. They've got Jeshurun Answe and William Stanback as well, but I think the advantage there goes to Toronto. When it comes to receivers, Lewis and Weineke have been absolutely dynamite for Montreal. I'm going to have to say that on that part there and on the offensive line itself, I think the advantage there goes to Montreal. When it comes to the defensive line, I'm going to have to say the advantage there definitely goes to Toronto over the course of the season. They were good at stopping Evans and Schultz when they played when they played Montreal. It was a slightly different story, but I still feel that they've got the advantage in that section there. And when it comes to kicking, no doubt that definitely, for me at least, goes to Toronto because Beatty's
Yeah,
been lights
Faraday
out for them
and
this year.
Faraday's
So.
he can kick it far, and that part of the games. Well, for me, as far as I'm concerned, the difference in this game is going to be offense, and for offense to make a difference, they're going to have to overcome defense. And Noel's defense and the Argos defense, Montreal and Toronto, both are good defenses. I think the Argo defense has been more consistent this year. Their DBs have done a masterful job of intercepting the ball. That is going to be the question, whether Harris's accuracy, how important is his accuracy? Very important. Um, McLeod has thrown a few interceptions. What we're looking at is he's got a pretty good set of receivers, but he has some receivers who have not been consistent, like Devaris Daniels. He's a guy that I expect, and if the Argos are going to win, he's going to have a big thing to do with it, depending on Devaris Daniels. Now, they've got guys that have been better this year. They've got a Canadian kid, basically uh, going for MOP. So they're in good shape as far as receivers are concerned. But I really think at the end of the day, what's going to matter here is the team that their offense can overcome either of these defenses. And Harris is a great quarterback. The Argos are going to be up against it with him. Throws very quickly. Their defense won't have enough time to get at him. If they do, that's going to be the important factor. So, will they get to Harris? Will they get to McLeod? That's the other question. The kicking game, as you said, the Argos have a bit of an edge. But I really think one thing that the Argos have done this year, and they need to do it again, Aaron,
Mm-hmm.
they need to, if they play badly, win anyway, which is something that they've done all year. They've won games they had no business winning. So I give them that edge. If the game's up for grabs in the last couple of minutes, the Argos could be the team that wins it, and I think that's going to be their strength. I think, and that'll make the difference.
Excellent. Well, we'll be able to see. We'll be able to see firsthand. So it's
Absolutely, we
it's
will.
nice to be able to see another playoff game. I thank the Argonauts for their consistency, at least in that.
Absolutely, and you know what? Hopefully, it'll be a good crowd. I'm hoping at least around 18, 19. It'd be great if they could do that. For us to do that, though, at this game, for BMO and all of us involved in this game, um, it's going to have to be Argo fans. There might be 1,500, 1,200 Montreal Alouette fans. This isn't the 3,000, the 3,500 Ticat fans coming. They're not coming to this game. They have no interest in this game. In fact, they're trying to forget the season. So basically, that's what's going to happen here. Hopefully, a good crowd. The weather will probably be nice. It seems like the weather is starting to crawl back down and more like football weather, but we'll see. We'll see what happens on that day. We're going to have some interesting days very soon down the road. In a couple of days, it's going to be as high as 20 degrees. Now, if that kind of temperature can hang on in Toronto in November for an Eastern Conference final in the Canadian Football League, we'll all be happy.
Definitely.
Let's talk now about hockey, and of course, the team that stirs our drink on this show is, of course, Friday's Leaf Talk. Of course, we talk about them Monday and Wednesday. Um, with the CFL doing what it does right now, we give it the priority, but we haven't forgotten the Maple Leafs. And unfortunately for them against Vegas, they started okay. They kept the game close. Shalgren was great in goal, really, and he played really well. Unfortunately, the Leafs took the lead, which didn't
Yeah,
last long.
yeah, it did. Unfortunately, it didn't. But the other thing to consider is that Vegas was on a 7-game winning streak coming into that game.
And they
They have a
lead the
habit.
league. They lead the league in overcoming deficits in the third period
Yep. They also outscored their opponents 17-5 in the first period, and they never won at Scotiabank Arena in their 4 years of existence.
until now.
So until now, no surprise there. All of a sudden they're winning. So there you have it.
And that damn guy that used to play for Buffalo, he's still a thorn in the side of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Thank goodness he's in the Western Division. They don't have to play him that much.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is a bit of a relief, but it is actually, I'll be honest with you, even though he's beating the pants off other teams, it is good to see Eichel playing the way that he is again. After his issues with his neck and the issues that he had in Buffalo, I am glad to see him getting the support that he needs to do some of the work that he can do. So kudos to him for that. Kessel was also making his presence known out there. The old thorn in our side, one of our old leading scorers, always coming back to haunt us. Yeah, it was a good game. At times Toronto looked absolutely dominant.
It was playoff
unfortunately,
hockey.
we just couldn't put it away.
It was playoff hockey. I mean, It was make no mistake. And if you do make a mistake on all 3 goals, the Leafs made a mistake and they paid for it.
They definitely did. I was a little surprised, though, to see Timothy Liljegren on Hattie Watch. That was kind of neat.
that was amazing. And the play that Marner made for Liljegren's second goal. Good Lord. I mean, the one for Liljegren and his own goal, where holy mackerel! I mean, he stick handled the puck, I think in about 18 feet, about 4 or 5 times.
Yeah,
and he avoided Tavares.
When he did that, I was just absolutely amazed because it was just filthy. But
it was,
glad to see it, but at the same time, wish we could have pulled out the 2 points.
Well, they shouldn't have rested on that. They should have protected that lead, and that would have been a great goal to be the winning goal. Unfortunately, it wasn't the winning goal. It was the goal that needed to be overcome by Vegas, which they did. So the Leafs had a pretty good game. It worked out well. They looked good. They got a point from the best team in the NHL, right? So that's as close as you can get without winning.
It's a consolation I'll take.
Yeah, which isn't a bad thing when you consider. Let's talk about a team that we all know and love and respect and care about so much. Oh, wait, no, let's talk about the Habs instead.
We can certainly do that. So I am actually sad to report the Habs beat the Wings. This is coming on the tails of a weekend that saw Josh Anderson get suspended for 2 games for a really nasty looking hit on Alex Pietrangelo by the boards. Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki actually got the winning goals in the shootout when they beat Detroit 3-2 on Tuesday night. Perron was the only Red Wings player to score in the shootout. Sorry?
And they lost to the Knights.
And they lost to the Golden Knights, as part of their winning streak. So it is what it is.
Let's talk about the Sens.
Sure. The Flyers spoiled Giroux's milestone by beating the Senators 2-1, but they followed it up very quickly the next night by losing 6-4 to the Vancouver Canucks with potential future owner Ryan Reynolds in the building. So he was interested.
Yeah, go ahead. He was on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, he was on Jimmy Fallon when he mentioned he had intentions to. He was actually sitting in a box with a bunch of guys from a funds company called Sportico, who are known for putting together deals for sports teams. In particular, some of the individuals he was sitting with helped Melnick buy the Senators. So that's important to note as well.
Wow. Okay. Well, he was on, like you said, Fallon, and Fallon had the scoop. And of course, he doesn't have the money to buy the team himself, so he's looking for a big daddy.
Yeah. A sugar daddy or a sugar mommy.
Yeah, one or the other or both. If it was me, I'd need 3 of them. Let's talk about the Jets. Hellebuck gets his second shutout.
Yeah, so it was good to see. He's finally coming around. Hellebuck got a second shutout as the Jets beat the Blackhawks 4-0. That was over the course of the weekend. Glad to see him finally getting around to it. Morrissey and Pierre-Luc Dubois each had a golden assist, and Nate Schmidt and Adam Lowry also scored to help Winnipeg improve to 5-0-1 in its last 6 games. They followed that up with a 5-1 win over the Stars the next night, just to keep their streak going. So it was good to see Scheifele got 2 of the Jets' 4 unanswered second period goals on Tuesday night. So 3 of those goals were actually scored in under 3 minutes.
The Oilers. Jamie Benn powers the Stars past the Oilers.
Yes. So Jamie Benn, whose brother Jordy plays for the Leafs, coincidentally, had a hat trick. And Jason Robertson, whose brother Nick plays for the Maple Leafs, had a goal and 2 assists as they rolled past the Edmonton Oilers 6-2. Wedgwood made 28 saves in net for the Stars. It was when they basically outworked and out-hustled Edmonton. There were points there where players just did not look interested in coming back. So it was just one of those. The obvious effort wasn't there on Edmonton's part, and it kind of looked embarrassing.
Scary injury for Edmonton, and Evander Kane getting his wrist sliced. A lot of blood.
Yeah, no, it was. He got cut by Pat Maroon's skate. He was chasing the puck along the boards and fell down and got tangled up with Lightning defensive Philippe. Unfortunately, as Maroon came in to sort of try to dig the puck out, he sliced the left wrist and forearm area of Evander Kane. He went to the bench right away. The report from the Edmonton Room is that he is on the mend. The Edmonton Oilers and Tampa Bay Lightning staff were assisting him behind the scenes. It's going to take him a while to get back on the ice, but hopefully he'll recover fully.
Let's talk about the Canucks.
Sure. Looking at the Predators, they came back with a 4-3 shootout win over the Canucks. That was one of the stories that we were covering over the weekend that we unfortunately couldn't get to on Monday. Going up 3-1 heading into the final period. Unfortunately, they only managed to come out of it with a single point. And again, it's that 3-1 lead, which is the worst lead in all of professional sports. But the good news is that they followed that up the next night by beating the Senators 6-4. So there's some redemption there.
I really don't want to talk about this, but Northern Ontario is going to get us northern, storm, snow happening.
Yeah, sorry about that, Frank. It looks like there's about a foot of snow coming to Northern Ontario. And we're talking in a band from Sault Ste. Marie north to Timmins and stretching all the way out potentially to Wawa and Kapuskasing. The southern edge of it is going to be Chapleau, and New Liskeard is going to get a bit of a dusting as well. So keep your eyes out for that. Make sure you got your tire chains on and drive with your full headlighting system.
You shouldn't need more tools to clear bridge protest at Windsor, Trudeau tells Ford.
So there was a lot of back and forth and ballyhoo about this. There was a readout of a conversation held between Doug Ford and Prime Minister Trudeau, dated February 9th, where Ford told Trudeau that reopening the Ambassador Bridge in Windsor was a priority and that Ontario's Attorney General was looking at legal ways to give the police more tools to do it. But Trudeau said, the protest is already illegal. They're blocking traffic. You don't need the Emergencies Act to do this. This, to me, seems like political maneuvering by Doug Ford to get Trudeau to pull the trigger on the Emergencies Act so he can then point the finger and be disappointed. So,
Alberta Court of Appeal dismisses unvaccinated woman's case for organ donation.
So there was a lady who had to go in for a transplant. She was diagnosed with a terminal disease in 2018. She was placed on a transplant wait list in 2020, but was told a year later she'd need to get the vaccine to receive the organ. She refused to do so, and they said, okay, you're not coming into the hospital to get it. She then sued, and Alberta's Court of Appeal said, no, That's part of the condition of getting this organ. You need to be vaccinated. You choose not to, you don't get the organ. So,
Well,
yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about it before that at some point, there's going to be an opportunity for being unvaccinated being a hassle. It just is just the healthcare system has its way. You know, this is we warned about this kind of stuff, Aaron.
Yep.
You know, we warned about it. All right, right or wrong, you know, they have a reason for it, and if they can justify it, and if it's legal, they're going to do it. Let's talk about the U.S. The midterm polls. Wow, it's amazing. It's amazing, in my opinion, that there was so much assuredness that they could lose up to 100 seats. It didn't happen, or 40 seats. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
The
no, there was a lot
Democrats.
of talk about the Democrats cratering out, but it didn't seem to be that way. It seems that the Senate is almost going to be deadlocked, and right now, the biggest race that we're currently looking at is a runoff election to be held in another month between Warnock and Herschel Walker. Like, of
Yeah,
all the races to potentially be tied, a stumbling block. That
absolutely, absolutely, and you know, this proves one small little point, and that is this could be proof that things are turning around and people like Donald Trump who choose to lie repeatedly, who are unworthy of holding office in the United States, they will be taken care of by people. I mean, there are enough people who are gullible, and the fact is they're gullible. That's just a reality. And unfortunately for them, there are some people who are saying, you know what? There are some things, and it's come down to this, Aaron. There are some things that are very important, and in fact, free and fair elections and democracy is rising above even inflation and costs. And the abortion issue has been visited on by Republican states, and they've taken a beating for it. You know, some votes went 60, 40, 65, 35, and then there were some close ones too. But the point is, women want to make the choice with what they consider their bodies. We can argue about that till the cows come home, but the neat thing about democracy is until somebody proves it can't be done, people have a right to request and demand their choices be respected, man or woman, and in this case, women.
yep.
All
And I'm
right,
glad to see that it's finally getting to that point. It shouldn't
absolutely,
have to, but I'm glad they are.
absolutely. You know, that was my rant. Yay. He's Aaron William Freeland. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Frank.
I'm Candid Frank Stanisci. Thank you for watching Candid Frank Live, Aaron. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This show can also be heard on the Spanglish World Radio Network. For Candid Frank Live, other news, entertainment, and sports programming we offer, please check out SpanglishWorld.ca. Spanglish World. Watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Ciao for now.